Hello and welcome to Cryptid, Squid, and Octopi. Oklahoma octopus. This cryptid is said to live in 3 lakes in Oklahoma, which are Lake Thunderbird, Lake Ulaga, and Lake Tentkiller. The octopus-like cryptid is said to have reddish-brown leathery skin and to be the size of a horse. While there is very little physical evidence of this creature, many point to the high amount of strange drownings plus the local Native American lore of the lake. As far as legend goes, tales state that a large leech-like creature that is as big as a horse with reddish-brown skin has made its home in the waters for years. This creature has been featured on Animal Planet's Lost tapes, and if legends are true, then it will be the only known freshwater octopus around. Many will point out that the 3 lakes previously mentioned were man-made in the early 1950s, but what many fail to account for is the fact that these lakes were created from the Arkansas River. I am not saying one way or another if I believe in this cryptid, but it is worth looking at all the information. USS Stein Monster. The USS Stein was launched on December 19, 1970, and was a destroyer escort vessel that later became a frigate. The ship was on many special operations during its life as a United States Navy ship until it was decommissioned and donated to the Mexican government in August of 1997. While on its maneuvers, it managed to not be attacked from any countries that wished her harm, but it did, however, go into the record books for being attacked by a sea beast. In 1976, it soon became apparent that during the ship's travels, an unknown creature decided to try to make a meal out of the sonar dome on the vessel. Upon inspection, 8% of the no-foul rubber coating on the dome had been damaged with cuts that all resembled the suction cups found on tentacles. Some of the gashes even still had claws left in them, and they were larger than any that had been seen at the time. El Cuero. Okay, here is a real odd cryptid that actually fits another video I was planning on doing about outlandish creatures, but it does work here as well. This creature is found in the Chilean glacial lake Lacar of South America, and is said to be 2 to 5 feet across and weigh in at 65 pounds. Its body is hairless, but it is patterned like that of a cowhide, and its multiple eyes are on stalks. It has razor-sharp teeth, and according to reports, it can extend its jaws while attacking. Apparently, it has been given the nickname the Aquatic Tiger by the way it hunts its prey by use of ambush. This creature will float on the water's surface, and when a human comes close, it will surge out of the lake to attack. It uses proboscis, which is a tube organ used for sucking, to puncture its victim's body and suck out organs and blood. There have been multiple reports of attack all over the area, and many locals are afraid to go near the water. At first, I was skeptical, but upon looking at pictures of rays, which many believe this to be, I think it may not be a far fetch as far as identification, and not attacks. Oil Pit Squid. This cryptid has been reported on once, but that is not to say that this is not the only case of its existence. On November 15, 1996, at the GMC Delphi Interior and Lighting Plant in Anderson, Indiana, workers discovered something very odd in a vat that was to be cleaned. In plant number 9, a vat that contained antifreeze, oil, paint stripper, and chemicals used to make plastic was scheduled to be cleaned. Once opened, workers noticed several grayish-red squid-like creatures that were about 6 to 8 inches long swimming around in the toxic chemicals. At one point, one of the creatures was captured and preserved in a glass jar, but mysteriously the specimen disappeared before testing could be done. The EPA, or Environmental Protection Agency, took notice and arrived a while later, but all of the creatures had disappeared as well. Multiple eyewitnesses saw the squids, but no one is sure what happened to them. It should be noted that the tank was cleaned again on March 7th and 12th of 1997, but nothing odd was reported.
Release the Kraken!
Kraken. I couldn't make a video like this without having one of the most famous octopi or squid being on it. The Kraken is an enigma of a cryptid, with descriptions varying from a large squid, octopus, whale, or even a crab. Movies tend to depict it as a sea monster that almost harkens back to the H.P. Lovecraft Cthulhu. Traditionally, this being resembles more of a crab-like whale, but for the list purposes, we will focus on the cephalopod type. Tales of this cryptid have been around since the late 13th century in an Icelandic saga called Ovar Ode. In later writings, it was said to be the size of a small island, and that when it surfaced, the wakes it made in the water would create dangerous whirlpools. Its tentacle-like arms were strong enough to drag the largest known ship to the bottom of the ocean with little challenge. The beast was said to live off the coast of Norway and Greenland, and was even mentioned in Herman Melville's book, Moby Dick. Although it wasn't directly labeled the Kraken, it was called the Great Live Squid, with the indication that few ships that crossed its path remained afloat. With that, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.